should know about this thing by now.
Okay. That thing.
What sauce?
But if you said,
I went like this, as in hot.
Yeah, see,
Whatever.
I was thinking I'm in vacation mode. Okay.
Okay, whatever. Okay. Should we just jump into it? Oh, are you about to say welcome back?
Yeah.
Okay, just go ahead. Just say it. Just say it. Yeah, go.
All right.
You're good.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Cousin
Connection
Podcast. So that was a really prominent P.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, it works. Oh, shoot. Actually, you need to fix something real quick. You know what? Let's talk about how I almost lost my thumb.
I saw that, and I then looked at your hands. I'm like, he's all right.
Okay, now I'm all right. But you saw it earlier, like a couple of days ago, right?
You had a Band-Aid on.
So just to give you some context here, okay? Mm-hmm. On Monday last week, we're recording this on Monday, so it's literally been a week. Mm-hmm. You know, we were in the office. We were like, okay, trying to build some stuff to make our office a little bit more efficient. Mm-hmm. Usually, I've stopped a lot of the hands-on work, but I was like, you know what? I'll bring back those skills and use them just for this little project we have, right?
Right.
So we start building this shelf. And at this point, my boss, it was the end of the day. So I was like, you know what? Let me finish this up. I'll do this myself. Don't worry. I got this, right? So I start building the shelf. Yeah. I have like the screw. It's all like metal and self-tap screws and all this stuff that I'm putting in. And I don't know why. I know I'm not supposed to do this. The classic thing where you're about to put a screw in. You're holding it with your finger. And then like you're trying to use the drill to get it in there, like at least to get it to hold on. So then you can just screw it in without your hand being there. And guess what? I did that successfully, right? The screw was in. All I had to do was drill it. Mm-hmm. I was like, I put my hand like right next to the area where it didn't need to be. And the moment I like cranked the drill a little bit too fast, it popped off the screw. And as it's still turning, went directly into like... You know the cuticles?
Let me see your thumb.
You can still see somewhat of the hole. But you know the cuticle, like the space between the cuticle and the nail? Is that what you call it, the cuticle?
This is the cuticle, like the little skin right here.
Exactly, which is like the most sensitive area for... You know how it feels when you like try and pull a little bit of skin in that area? Try to imagine a drill hitting that area directly and then like twisting a couple times. And like immediately, without even like taking off the drill yet, it looked like the blood was already coming out. And I thought, okay, I'll go and like put a tissue on it and it'll stop after like a minute, right? Non-stop blood for like a good, to the point where I put on the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Like I covered it. I like put the antiseptic, all that stuff. I put the Band-Aid on it and it started like soaking up the Band-Aid. And then I had to put another one on like 5 minutes later and it soaked up all the blood in that. And then I think the third one, I literally like had to go home. It was the end of the day, right? I already finished the shelf at that point. It was literally the last screw I had to do. And I just, you know what? I was like, F it. I'll just put the last Band-Aid on. And I was like, this will last me until I get home. As I'm driving home, it starts like leaking through the Band-Aid and like drops of blood. I have to take like tissues, like last second tissues and like put them under me. So as the blood is dripping, I can hold on. I hold on steering with one hand and I have tissues like covering my finger on the other one. And I thought that was it. That was like the last of it. I thought after that, the blood will eventually it'll stop, which it did for the most part. And then after that, I'll be good. And on Tuesday, I was fine. Like it was covered. It hurt a lot. Like I felt just as much pain on the second day as I did on the first day. And I had this like throbbing sensation that kept going through it.
You probably hit like a nerve.
That's what people were saying. Like it was throbbing to the point where like when I put pressure on it, I had to take off the Band-Aid and like just let it breathe for a bit. That like could kind of relieve the throbbing, but I had to put it back on there because it was still somewhat bleeding a little bit. But on that Wednesday, I don't know what happened. The pain got so extreme that I put like a wrap around it to, I don't know. I put a wrap around it. I put a Band-Aid and then a wrap around it. And it throughout the day, it started getting worse and worse. And I was like too scared to look at what was under there. But so I immediately went to the pharmacy and I got like the proper antibiotics and I got an Advil to like hopefully relieve some of the blood. But of course, to put on the antiseptic, I had to take the antibiotics. I had to take off the bandage, right?
Was it a topical?
Yeah.
Oh.
I took it off my thumb was literally double the size. Yeah, I like touched it. It was completely like, what do you call it? Like a purple, not purple, but it got like a darker color. I thought my whole thumb at that point was just full of blood, which probably it was. And then I took off the Band-Aid because, I had the wrap and then the Band-Aid. I took off the Band-Aid, like this pus started coming out of it. Wait, this is not really good podcast material. I just wanted to give you all the details here. Okay, maybe I'll cut that part out.
So gruesome.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
Have you not heard of WSIB? Because you got injured at work.
No, that's the thing.
Like,
I thought I was fine. I was like, it's just, I normally get cuts. I cut myself all the time. I thought it was fine. Sorry.
all those health and safety training videos where the people get their legs amputated from the forklifts and stuff didn't teach you a lesson.
I know. And I went to the HR. I was like, yeah, I cut myself. She's like, okay, let's make a report. I was like, nah, forget it.
So you didn't do a report?
No, I didn't do a
Amir.
report. I know. Okay.
What if that comes back to haunt you and then they're going to be like, well, you never reported it, so.
It could have, but I did speak to her. So I feel like if anything did happen worse than that, they would like be, okay, you already spoke to me about it. Mm-hmm. So we can make a report on that when I first saw it or whatever. But thankfully, alhamdulillah, like, it's been a week now.
Let me see it up close.
I still have a little bit of pain from it.
Let me see.
But the size has gotten significantly smaller. It's good now.
It's still kind of bloody though, and it looks swollen right here.
No, that's fine. Like next to my thumb, now it looks the same size for the most part.
Go like this way.
What? How? What do you mean this way?
Like show it like that.
Oh no, but they can't see it on the podcast.
No, it is swollen.
A little bit, but it's not as bad as it was on those days. Like I feel like what it was is the bruising, because I remember our cousins were talking about like they got into an accident and they didn't feel it until 2 days later. Like the bruising didn't get as bad or didn't feel as bad until 2 days later. So I think that's what it was. It was basically just the bruising that was and the swollenness was maybe my body like trying to protect itself in a way, because it does that, right? Like it
not
makes
just trying to justify it. Like just say I got injured on the job.
Yeah, but it was fine. So
you're gonna leave it out and about like that? You're not gonna cover it back up?
At this point, it's kind of like done. Like I'll still put on a Band-Aid on it whenever I'm going to sleep, or like, whenever I'm going to sleep, because when you're sleeping, you move around a lot unintentionally, or you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get it all over my bed, whatever. But throughout the day, I just let it breathe, and now it's fine.
Your story just made me so like kinchifying.
My cousin actually
I don't know how to say that in English.
One of my what is
No, and they say like kinchifying.
Yeah, like it gives you the heebie-jeebies. Like.
Yeah, that's literally what. I'm such a fob.
Literally, that's the exact translation of that.
Yeah, like that's actually how I feel right now.
Actually, one of them tried to scare me, say I would lose my toenail. Not my toenail.
Your
sorry,
thumbnail?
My thumbnail.
Why did it turn black?
No, it is sort of dark, but I think he was just trying to scare me. Like I thought for a second that it was gonna happen when it got really bad, but no, at this point it was fine. Honestly, for the whole week, it just looked like I was giving everyone a thumbs up because I couldn't put my thumb down because I kept touching it on stuff. So I literally, to remind myself like not to touch it, I would have a thumbs up.
I'm dead.
So everyone I would walk by, I'd like be walking up to them with a thumbs up.
Hey guys.
And another dumb thing is that, like I try, you know how I said last week, like I feel like I have to say hi to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I completely, every time I forget and I go in for the dap, and my hand hits their hand, and immediately after that, I'm like, oh my God, don't. But you live and you learn. You live and you learn. That's what it is.
Dap
Okay.
with the right hand.
That doesn't feel. This is my right hand.
Oh,
my left
right,
hand.
You're right.
Exactly.
Sorry,
so it feels weird doing with the left hand, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It does.
So, I almost lost my thumb, but alhamdulillah, everything worked out, guys. We're good.
Survived.
Don't worry about it.
If you're enjoying our podcast content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We are so close. If not already, we're so close to 5,000 subscribers, which is insane that we grew almost 2,000 subscribers in such a short amount of time, like
it
a
helps
month.
Having Aisha on here and everything.
It does. Shout out to her and Yassine, because honestly, like that episode is our most viewed video. Like y'all loved or hated it, depends on who's watching.
Yeah.
but we appreciate her support. But we also know that some of y'all are here who like just like podcasts, and that's cool too.
Oh yeah, we kind of hinted at this last week, but the reason we were like,
can I just say before we actually tell them what it is?
What?
I've actually had some people ask me if either of us are getting married because they're like, we have some exciting news.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay, yeah.
Damn, sorry to disappoint, but no, we're not.
Nah, we just going on vacation.
Yeah, we're just traveling.
Yeah, so we're gonna be in Europe for a couple weeks. You know, just cruising around. You know, seeing sights and places
and
that
people.
we'd like to. Yeah, and people.
Yeah.
We have family out there, so we thought it would be a nice opportunity to see them for the first time in a long time.
Yeah,
but also go around. So if you guys are in any like,
that'd be cool.
What?
Were you about to suggest that we meet up with them?
No.
Okay.
I have too much. What do you call it? Social anxiety for that.
We'd be fine. Actually, someone did ask me if we were open to doing like a meet and greet. I'm like, people want to meet us?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. Like the maybe like our friends.
There's no way you want us to meet us. Okay,
I know. Like we're not that cool.
This is completely fake. We're like not these same people.
But hey, I mean, I don't know if we want to end like. We're gonna start off in Sweden.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be in Sweden, because the reason I didn't want to say exactly because we don't know. Actually, no. Now we do know exactly.
We have an itinerary.
I don't know because I'm very bad at planning things, so I let them do it. And when I say them, I mean also she might be like with us for half of that trip.
Meet up with her.
Exactly.
On the other side of the world. Which is cool.
But the definite places are Sweden and Switzerland.
Yes.
I mean, specifically, I think it's Stockholm and Geneva, right?
Yeah.
And maybe around the area. But we're going to be in those areas for the next couple weeks. And then also we're like Spain, I think, and Italy. Is that in Grenada?
No.
Where's
Grenada's
Grenada?
Closer to Spain. We're not. I don't think
is
we're going to do
Grenada
Italy.
a country?
Amir.
I told you my geography's bad.
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
I always thought it was like a city or something. It sounds familiar.
Here, I'll show you.
Where's Grenada?
It's close to Spain.
Shout out to all the Grenadians. Is that what you call them?
It's in the Caribbean area.
Caribbean area? What do you mean Caribbean area?
Like
Mediterranean.
No, what are you talking about?
Caribbean like Jamaica?
No.
What?
Hold on.
Sarah, Caribbean is Caribbean is like Jamaica area. Mediterranean is like Greek.
Do you know where like St. Vincent is? And Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago?
Yeah.
And Barbados?
Grenada's not there.
Yes,
Wait,
it is.
You guys want to go to Grenada?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Actually, hold up.
Literally.
That's pretty far.
Exactly.
Maybe that's not where we're going. Hold up. No, I swear she said that though.
I don't think it's Grenada.
Did she mean somewhere else?
See, this is why, guys. This is why I didn't want to say exactly, because we're still figuring it out.
Okay, we're going to
so last minute with this.
Seville in Spain.
Yeah.
But where's the other place?
We'll figure it out, okay?
We're going
to be in the Europe area.
We're going to be in, Sweden, Switzerland, Spain, and maybe somewhere else. We haven't figured that last part out yet.
Exactly. So, well, let's go up. By the time we're there, this will go up. So, if you're living in those areas, just let us know where to go. What are the good spots to go to? Especially if you're Muslim, most likely you will be. Let us know where all the good halal spots are, if there are any.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Spain might have some.
What?
Seville, where we're going. Have I said that right? Seville, I don't know. Whatever.
They'll correct us. It's all good.
Yeah, they will correct us.
If there are any good spots there, let us know. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Really?
I've been to Sweden before.
Yeah.
But that was so long ago. It was like 9 years ago. So I'm sure things are
different
now. I also have been to Switzerland before, also 9 years ago, and I really liked it. And you have been too, right?
Oh yeah, I've been there once or twice. I can't remember now. Switzerland specifically. I've never been to Sweden.
Yeah, you'll like Sweden.
Oh, okay.
It's very nice.
Does this ever happen to you? Like, I don't know what it is about, like, finally booking a trip. But for me, the time between that trip, whether it's a month, whether it's 2 months, the time between that trip, I'm not going the way you think I would. The time between that trip is so short. It feels like it's super short. Like, it feels like I put in my vacation request, like, last week. And I put it in, like, a month ago. And the trip's already here.
Yeah, you know what though?
Time flies.
We've actually had like a very busy
maybe
month
that's what it is.
Because we had a lot of time. Like we booked it a month in advance, right? I think it was a month ago.
So, yeah.
And I didn't even remember that I was leaving this. Like we're leaving this
exactly.
week.
Yeah. So we're leaving in 5 or 6 days, and nothing's set up.
I haven't packed.
I haven't packed anything yet either. And
Love traveling.
it's
like
almost
this.
like it just like, I guess it's a good thing that it sneaks up on you because you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be off for a couple weeks here.
Yeah, we're off for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
but it's just, and sometimes I don't know if this is just me, my old age. I'm like, this is kind of inconvenient, man. I wanted to get so much work done on this, like these other things. And I got this whole vacation coming in here. That's the most privileged thing I could ever say.
I don't think like that. To me, I just blame the vacation. Like, oh, sorry, I'm traveling. Can't.
Oh,
can't commit.
But do they ever try to make you feel guilty for like leaving at a certain time?
My workplace?
Yeah.
No, they celebrate
Really?
it. Yeah, no, they're really good about that. They're
I
like,
guess
"Oh
it
my
depends on
God."
the environment. If it's a smaller or like larger environment,
Yeah.
and maybe it depends on the person. I always feel guilty when I leave for a long time. I'm like, oh,
I don't.
y'all gonna really have to just suffer out here without me, man.
Nah, I'm just like, I'm gonna head out. Good luck though.
Yeah, so I think it is because it's a bigger company versus small company, right? Where like if I left, it would be literally 50% of the workload.
Well, okay, so on my I have a team of 9 people that report they report to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why I struggle to say that. So for them, like I've been telling them the last like week or two that we've been having meetings, like, hey guys, so every time I have my one-on-ones, I'm like, I'm not going to be here for 2 weeks. So if you need anything, go to the other people, like go to the others.
Yeah. Because you guys have to have one-on-ones like regularly?
Well, a lot of my team is new, so I just want them to feel supported.
Oh, okay.
So I meet with them regularly.
Yeah.
And I wanted to meet with them like last week and this week so that they know, like, you know, get your help now or speak now or forever hold your peace for the next 2 weeks. So, yeah.
So, I don't know. I was going to talk about like the benefits of traveling. I always tell people whenever, I think I've mentioned this before, like you should definitely, if you have the opportunity, go traveling. But I feel like now it's harder to say that because seeing like these prices of how much it costs to go to certain places, like before it used to be pretty like reasonable. But now it's almost getting like unreasonable. When I was looking at like not only our tickets, but when we were talking about like our parents or my dad like to take him to go to Australia.
That's why I'm not going because
like,
those prices hurt my heart a little bit.
We're looking at like $3,000 prices here.
It hurt my feelings. I'm like $3,000 for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
It's so ridiculous. So I even though I keep telling you, it's starting to become something that's super like unattainable.
I don't know. I feel like deep down, I'm just hoping that like maybe it's just inflation, and then now the recession's coming. So like maybe after the recession, like the prices will balance out. Because when I went to Australia, and that was what, 6 years ago, however many years ago, my ticket was $1,100.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy?
Wish. Yeah.
But I also took a 4-week trip.
But okay. But no, also I think that it's rare that prices ever go back down. At least in my eyes. Do you ever see a situation where that happens? I feel like the gap just becomes larger and larger between the people, the haves and the have-nots, I guess they call it.
No,
or the people who can afford those things.
I think some places have like high season. Like if you were to go to Ethiopia from here, off season would be, you know, between like January, not January, like February to May, for example, and then September to November. The high seasons are June, July, August.
Oh, so it could be just a season.
And then December, January are also high season.
Yeah.
And those tickets are like $2,000 sometimes, more than that.
Yeah.
But we went in February last year, and we paid what, 14?
Yeah.
Or
okay. Yeah. So I guess it really just depends on the time of year as well.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The tickets that we got for Sweden, those I feel like those are kind of expensive.
Oh yeah, they were definitely expensive.
Those are expensive. Like I was like, it's my fault, guys.
Yeah.
I was in charge of looking up tickets. I kind of messed up, so I apologize to my mother, my aunt, and my cousin.
Yeah, but it's rare. It's rare that we ever do. Actually, yeah, it's rare that we ever do like long trips like that. Now it's just become more often.
It's like an annual thing, clearly.
Yeah, now it's becoming an annual thing. That I'm thinking, Sada, you really? No.
Well, like you know, last year that was our first time traveling like internationally. Didn't we not travel before then?
Not in a long time. Like if you count like LA. I don't even know if I would count America as international anymore. Yeah,
not really.
Yeah.
But like that was our first time that we all traveled together. And now we just happen to be like, it was supposed to be a trip for our moms. And then they were like, y'all got to come with us. So we said, fine. Then we started planning this trip. And then Aisha and Yasin were like, oh, we're also going to be in Europe. I'm like, Even better. See y'all there.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. You don't think tickets are gonna go down? Like just in general, like the prices?
No, because as long as the thing is that you have to remember these companies are all public and they have to report to their investors. And investors,
You mean airlines?
yeah, any company that's public, including the airlines, and because of that, investors always it's unattainable. It's like what do you call it? Unsustainable. But they always expect a increase in revenue. So they're always expecting every year on year, every quarter for them to make more and more money, which seems like how is that even possible, right? And but you're seeing it now. Like they took advantage of saying like, oh, because of COVID, the prices of like fuel and other things, and we lost so many workers, so we're like low on workers as well. All these different factors have led to them increasing the prices. But then when people actually look into it, it's the amount that it's increased is not relative to like what it should have been, or like relative to what the cost of the things that are causing them to increase their prices actually are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's just a long-winded way.
Sorry, yeah, I know.
I get what you mean though. The increase in fuel doesn't actually justify the increase in the ticket cost.
Exactly. And actually now these airlines, I don't know if you saw it on TikTok, they're doing some weird like scummy things. Like have you seen is it Frontier Airlines?
What they do?
Allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, you know, save us here. So what they're doing now is that they're like overbooking flights, and then they're not allowing people to get onto the plane for like really like fake reasons, essentially. So one of the things that's happening now is that, you know how you have like the carry-on bags? So Frontier Airlines is supposed to be one of those like really low, cheap, the budget flights, right? So you know how you have like they have the place where you can test it to see if it fits. So there are videos coming out where people are putting their stuff in there. It clearly fits. Like sometimes even there's more room. You could put maybe another bag in there or something smaller inside there. And they're saying, oh no, it doesn't fit. You're gonna have to pay us $100 to get it onto the flight. And then if they make any fuss about it, if they talk back at all, they say, okay, we're not letting you on the flight anymore. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like this is the reason why I would rather like pay more for a regular airline than to suffer through a budget airline. And I know sometimes like you kind of have no choice but to, or like I feel like travel should be more attainable for everybody, you know?
Yeah, we talked about that. But it's just as long as they're public companies, it's never gonna happen, right?
It's so unfortunate.
And that goes for anything. As long as something is public and traded on the market, they always have to not rely, but they kind of have to they're victim to their investors.
Yeah.
I don't even know if victim is the right word, but they're always going to have to push to make more money. And the person who's always going to suffer from that is the consumer or their customers, right? So unfortunately and they know that these people need it, right?
Yeah.
So if they know you need something, they're going to take advantage of you as much as possible.
And these budget airlines come into play like, oh, we'll get you guys affordable tickets, but then they jack up the prices of like a checked bag or whatever it is.
And on top of those checked bag prices, the people at the front desk, they get a kickback from that. So they get, I think, like a $10 commission. For them specifically, they get like a $10 commission on every person that they charge for the extra bag. So they have an incentive to do this as well.
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah. I'm going to pull up that video later to show you. Hopefully I can still find it. But it's so ridiculous.
If I was ever someone who worked for an airline, especially like the people that take your passport and take your checked bags.
Yeah.
I feel like I would do it for the people. I'd be like, your bag's 55 pounds? All good, I got you.
Yeah.
And slide it in there.
But also, do you think that, to go on the other end of this, do you think like that's a similar situation to what we see happening with like cops, where you're kind of just, the only reason you're seeing these videos is because like, it's almost like the cream rises to the top situation, where people think that all cops are bad because all the videos of cops doing bad things are the ones that you see, but you rarely see the ones of them doing good things. And this is the same thing for like airport workers. it could be maybe just very anecdotal, and we just, because of the internet, it makes it seem like it's a bigger issue than it really is.
But I wouldn't sit here and say that all airport workers are bad, because I've had bad experiences, but I've also had really good experiences too, where my bag was 57 pounds and they're like, it's all good, we got you. And I'm
exactly.
like, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Do you think that happens more often than what we're seeing, like specifically with this airline video?
I think like especially right after COVID ended and people were able to fly again, like there were a lot of cancellations and all that kind of stuff. And when it comes to the people that work, the ticket what are they called? The ones that like check your passport and stuff. I think they're called ticket agents, are they not?
Yeah,
maybe they're
like
not.
I used to know the word for it. But
hopefully you guys know what we're talking about. But those people that you check your bags in with, a lot of times they don't have control over flights being canceled. They don't really have too much information either. They kind of just are there to control the crowds. And I feel like when flights are canceled, when anyone's traveling, for the most part, people are stressed. They're not really relaxed. I've never really I feel like it's very important to me to be relaxed while traveling, because when you're so stressed out and you're so like high on anxiety and like, oh my God, I'm gonna miss my flight, or whatever the case is that you're stressed about, like it's just not enjoyable, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like because people are in such high stress situations, like they get the brunt of it a lot of the times. Like they get yelled at by customers or whatever, passengers. People abuse them verbally, hopefully not physically. I haven't seen that, but you never know.
Yeah, probably are cases like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But I just feel like for that type of like job, they should probably get some sort of like stress management course or something. Yeah, because
eventually they probably get numb to it, right? That's probably why even going back to that video, like the workers were super just like emotionless, and eventually I think in the video they just ran to the back and like hid behind the the little sign, the wall with the TV on it. They just hid behind there, away from the people.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but it makes sense because like you probably have seen it so much, and eventually you just like maybe at one point they were the type to help someone out, but because the people, the higher ups essentially started making more and more cuts, and it started to affect like how much you're getting paid, how much time you're getting to work, and just other aspects of your job, that you kind of just like lost any motivation to be that like cheery person you used to be at work, and now you're just kind of doing it for the money, and that's it, and you have like no emotion behind it.
I don't know, because I feel like if you're working in a service industry or customer service, like unless you have a passion for customer service, like you should not be in that field. I know a job is a job at the end of the day, but if your job is literally to service customers, you better be good at that, and you better find your joy in that, because the worst thing as a customer, like if you're thinking about it from a customer perspective, I know that they say, oh, the customer's always right, but if a customer is greeted by a pleasant person, unless you're a psychopath, like the customer isn't just gonna return or like hit you back with violence or whatever, like retaliation. They're gonna be kind right back, right? Like I think it's a two-way street. But if you have someone who does not care for their job, like haven't you ever come across someone where, whether it's at the airport or a restaurant or whatever, and someone's just like, hi, yeah, whatever, what do you want? And you're just like, all right, you're gonna be like that, fine, I'll be your brat too. But I don't know, I've worked in retail before, and I feel like when you come across, or if you're really nice to someone, like you never know, you can make someone's day and they've been having like a shitty time. Or I mean, now that I'm not working here anymore, I guess I could talk about it. I won't say the store, but once upon a time I used to work somewhere where we could offer discounts sometimes on manager approval, but I wasn't a manager. So if someone was really nice, I'd be like, you want 20% off? That's how I would give them 20% off sometimes. Yeah. So not all the time. Like I wasn't stealing from the company, but it's like, all right, like so often you got to hook up.
So maybe in that situation with the video, if that guy just didn't take the video and converse with them in a more positive way, he might have gotten what he wanted out of it. Because, the reason I'm saying that is because they were going to eventually, at the end of the video, they were going to let all the customers get on, except for the guy who was taking the video.
Like with their bags?
Huh? Yeah, I believe so.
That's the thing. I don't know if I'm sure you've seen these videos on TikTok where the like flight attendants will say like how to get good treatment from a flight attendant on your flight is bring them a gift card or chocolate or you've never seen those?
No.
Oh no, they say like which I don't know I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But they say like you could always gift them like a gift card, a Starbucks gift card for the crew.
Yeah.
Or like bring candy or whatever kind of gifts. Like you give it to them as you're boarding.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're really appreciative. And then they kind of remember you and they're like, where's that person?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, yeah. But then you have all these people who, let's say somebody buys a $50 Starbucks gift card and they're like, I'm going to give this to the crew in hopes that like maybe they'll bump me up to business class or something. Mm-hmm. And then if they don't, then what?
Yeah, exactly. You don't get any special treatment after giving them something. Yeah. Because they're going to want something out of it, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of just, I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of weird to ask people to like give you gifts. Yeah. Just to get like proper treatment when like you should be treating them right. It's your job.
Maybe. I don't think I've ever thought about this, but can you like, would you tip a flight attendant afterwards? And then again, when you tip them, what would you tip them in? You don't know which country they're coming from.
So it's sort of like, think of it like kitchen staff. Mm-hmm. Usually when you tip, they have to distribute it amongst the team, right? Yeah. Like it's not like, I think sometimes it's for them, but like usually.
For flight attendants too?
Yeah. So like.
They giving some to the pilot?
So like let's say like if I'm giving a $50 Starbucks gift card to the flight attendant that I see when I'm walking in. Yeah. She's going to have to, or he or she will have to like. Oh yeah. Distribute it amongst the team. Yeah. But like I get it. Like if someone's like maybe they're sliding you extra snacks or desserts or whatever, drinks, whatever it is you want. Yeah. And they give you an extra blanket and an extra pillow and they're just being really nice to you.
Before you've given them anything.
Yeah, but like on your flight. And then on your way out, you're like, that person was really nice. You're like, hey, thank you so much for your service. Like I'd be like, this is for you. Yeah. Keep it for you. But I feel like they'd get in trouble. I don't know.
No, I actually, because it's still a service job at the end of the day.
It is a service job.
So I don't know how you like tipping is so normal in other service industries.
It's not normal outside of North America though.
I guess so. Yeah. So if it was maybe not international,
domestic?
Domestic flight.
You mean like within Canada?
Within Canada and America. Yeah. Then maybe that's a thing. But I've never actually thought about it myself.
Yeah, I've never heard of people tipping them after the flight, but I know like some people will gift them before. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure flight attendants make a good. It's not like they're working at a bar or a restaurant where they're literally getting their hourly wages cut, so they can only rely on tips.
Well, they actually don't get paid until the flight, like the plane door closes and the flight's about to start. Mm-hmm. But like all that time before the boarding, all of that, they don't get paid for that.
But I'm sure that it evens out. No.
I don't know. I don't know how much they make.
I don't know how much they make either, but it must be like pretty lucrative because like I've heard about the recruiting process for like certain airlines, especially the bigger ones like Emirates and the ones in the UAE are like crazy.
I think for those though, like it's also another opportunity of like, they provide your housing, transportation, furniture, clothes, whatever.
So it depends on the flight. What do you call it again? The airline, right? Yeah. Like if you're working for United or not United, but one of those smaller ones like Swoop, you're probably not getting all those perks, right?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, the perk is you get to travel.
Oh yeah.
And you probably.
But if you're working for Swoop, you're probably pretty limited on where you can travel. It's like within Canada or something.
They get you a hotel in like Regina.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry to anyone who lives there. I don't know what it's like.
Shout out to all the flight attendants. Okay.
Yeah, for real, it's not an easy job. Mm-hmm. Speaking of traveling, so we're gonna be recording from wherever we're gonna be.
Oh yeah, I need to figure out how I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, do you guys want us to vlog? I feel like we will.
Yeah, we're probably gonna film some of this. Okay, we already put out one vlog. I feel like now we kind of gotten the ball rolling. We have to like.
I think we should film on the same camera though. Huh? I think we should film on the same camera though.
Oh, the 90s style or like early 2000s style camera?
Or should we just film on this?
We can just film on both. You see me just walking around with one
I'll film on one
camcorder and
and
the
you-
other one.
Yeah, like I don't know. We're gonna discuss our plans for what our vlog is gonna
Mm-hmm.
look like. If it's gonna be a 2-parter, just one really
Yeah.
long one. We don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually wanted to ask you, in terms of traveling, because I know this thought has probably never crossed your
Mhm.
mind, but it crosses my mind.
What?
Do you ever think, like, when you're about to pick a destination for where you want to go next, like, is this place safe for Muslims?
Oh, actually, yeah.
Really?
That's why I remember before I was like, oh yeah, forget France. Like France is done now, because I thought that it was like now it was just unsafe for Muslims.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily unsafe for Muslims because there is still a very large Muslim population. Maybe it just depends on where you go.
Yeah.
But I don't think Europeans were ever like super gung ho for like Muslims in their neighborhoods anyway. So it kind of I don't think it's probably gotten worse. But like if we were going as travelers, I don't think we'd really be affected by it as much.
I don't know. I
So
feel
that
like
was one thing that I thought about.
I think about it like no matter where I go, I'm
Mhm.
just like, will it be safe? Like,
Mm-hmm.
can I go out and explore with a hijab on and not fear like someone's gonna attack me?
Yeah.
Which is crazy that I even have that thought, but like that's what the world has
Mhm.
come to, unfortunately.
What would be a country that you'd be scared to go to as a Muslim?
The United States of America.
Actually, like
As a black Muslim?
No. There are certain spots in America
Mhm.
because America is essentially like 50 different countries at this point. Like when it comes to like the middle of let's say Kentucky, it's
Yeah,
going to be
probably.
a completely different experience than when you go to like California, and
Yeah.
a completely different experience if you go to like New York.
But even in California,
Yeah, they're like even there are subsects of like
exactly.
different communities that you have to watch out for, right?
Oh yeah, if you go to Southern California,
Yeah,
luck.
it's very unhomogeneous. That makes sense.
yeah, or like just Middle America.
Yeah, actually, no, not all of Middle
Not
America.
all
I'm
of it,
sure
but-
there's some like Nebraska. I don't know nothing about Nebraska, but Nebraska seems like it would be pretty chill.
Yeah, it does seem like it'd be pretty chill.
I don't know why. Just
But,
I'm
like,
going off of like
Alabama.
complete- exactly. See,
I don't know if I'd ever want to go there. I'll be honest with you. I was stuck in. Was I in North Carolina? Raleigh? I don't even know how to say it.
yeah.
But I was stuck there. Remember when I was coming back from LA last time?
Oh, really?
Yeah, for like 10 hours.
But you didn't leave the airport, right?
No, but
Was that just you internally? You felt like uncomfortable there, or did you see things and experience things that made you feel
Well,
uncomfortable?
Well, one, I was so hungry, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there has to be like some kind of like vegan spot. 'Cause I
Yeah.
doubt they're gonna have halal at the airport.
Yeah.
Not one.
How about fish?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
I walked around for so long,
Yeah.
and then eventually I found.
Subway?
No, they didn't have Subway, but they had like a random
Oh,
burrito
okay.
spot.
Yeah.
So I went there, and it was the saddest. Like, it's just so
Do
disappointing.
they have at least sofrita?
No. No. So I had friggin' peppers
Yeah.
and beans as my
What?
It was so sad.
I guess. Yeah. No, but the fish thing doesn't make sense.
No, they had like no seafood options anywhere. It was pork. They had
Yeah.
a lot of pork options.
Yeah.
And just like beef and like just stuff that like
Which is the most
non-halal.
ironic thing. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna get my religious rant here just for 2 seconds.
Mm.
Pork is such a big thing in America, but they also call themselves a Christian nation, even though pork, I believe, is not allowed
Really?
in Christianity. Like you're not allowed to eat swine.
Oh,
I'm pretty
I did
sure,
not know
or maybe
that.
maybe it was like the Old Testament thing versus New Testament. I don't know much about that,
Mhm.
but I'm pretty sure they're not supposed to be eating swine. Y'all will let me know.
They're not supposed to be doing a lot of things, but they do it anyways, and
Yeah.
that's how human beings are. Whether
But
they're
it's
Christian
like-
or
it's
not,
like-
so.
Such a big part of the culture, especially drinking as well. But but they also claim to be Christian. I don't know. It's
At the end of the day,
yeah,
regardless of what people believe in, human beings do what human beings
exactly.
do. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But yeah, I mean, I didn't like
Mm-hmm.
the airport there, but the United States is definitely like select states or cities I'll go to, but I don't really have a passion to
Yeah.
explore all 50.
But did you have that
states.
feeling like when we were planning to go to Sweden?
Well, I was comparing it to when I went last time, and it seemed fine then. But I remember we spoke about it on the podcast where you're like, yeah, it's pretty racist there. And then I'm like,
was it in Sweden I said that?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Sweden. Maybe it was Ukraine.
No, because I didn't go to Ukraine.
Oh, okay. No, I maybe I'll have to redo my...
You did mention Ukraine, but you also mentioned Sweden.
Like the Scandinavian countries, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Now I remember. Okay, yeah, there's a politician who was like trying to ban Islam basically from the country.
From Sweden, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, because they are like very hyper secularist. So that makes sense. But I feel like as travelers or like as tourists, we may not experience as much. And I've seen plenty of people, even our own followers who are from Sweden.
I know. That's why I'm excited to go. I hope we run into some of you guys. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's probably like 5 or 10 of you out there. So
hope we see all 5 of you.
Exactly. So I don't know. I feel like we should be okay. Their crime rate is like really low out there.
Yeah. No, I never felt unsafe, and I liked how easy it was to like get around. Like they have an amazing transportation system.
Oh, really?
I loved how the trains. Like the system, very easy to follow. Actually, very similar to TTC. That we have here in Toronto. But it was really cool. I think you'll like it. We'll
My goal is to see at least one mountain view. Like how you see those classic videos of people going to like one of those countries, and they're like in the middle of a grassy field and just the mountains in the background.
Switzerland's good for that.
Yeah, if I see one of those, trip is. Complete.
You're happy?
Exactly.
Well, we will make that our mission. We'll make sure to see that. I think that'll be like really cool content too. But
yeah, TikTok. That'll be our research guide right there.
Yeah,
TikTok and you guys.
Yep. So if you have any recommendations, let us know. But on that note, we're gonna take a really quick break.
Oh shoot. Okay. And we're back. And I wanted to talk about something I was debating with someone recently. They're visiting from out of town, and we were talking about how like whether it's worth it to live in the West as a Muslim instead of just moving to a Muslim country essentially, right? And in my case, I was saying that it's worth it to stay here for the reward alone. Does that make sense?
Yes, because I have that exact thought in my head.
Like, okay, so because the question is like, is it when it comes to like the pros versus the cons of moving to a Muslim country? Like the pros to moving to a Muslim country is that essentially it's easy for you as a Muslim. Like you've made your life is going to be a lot more easier when it comes to your deen because you have all the resources. You have mosques surround you 24/7. You have the adhan playing all the time. Like to be a Muslim there. Since you're surrounded by it, it's easier for you to do that. You're not really fighting your nafs as much because you're not seeing people on the street. You're not having to lower your gaze as much. But as a Muslim in the West, you're constantly being traveled. Your nafs is constantly being challenged. And the the pros of that, of your nafs being constantly challenged, is that your reward is much greater because you're constantly having to remind yourself to like lower your gaze, to be mindful of what you're hearing, what you're seeing, where you're going, all these things. Let's say you're trying to build a community, like which is what we're essentially trying to do here. There's more opportunity for that here, because it's not really a needed or necessary thing in a Muslim country that's already majority Muslim. But out here, where you're the minority, like building community is like your top priority to have a good environment for your kids to grow up in, right? So we were debating on like, because they were saying like, once I get the opportunity, I'll move in to like Egypt or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but like you have a community here that you can build, even though there are a few people and they have cases they can point to be like, okay, these guys already went and look, they're like thriving out there. So what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are, one, I definitely agree about the reward aspect. I think the more you struggle, the greater the reward. However, I have to slightly disagree with you because a lot of these Muslim countries are actually now being heavily influenced by the West.
Yeah.
So countries like Saudi Arabia are now allowing concerts, and they're allowing Halloween parades and Christmas trees, and things that are not in the norm of a Muslim country are now being introduced to these historically known as Muslim countries.
Yeah.
So although, and like, for example, you know, the point that you made about like, oh, you don't have to lower your gaze as much. Not everybody really wears hijab in Muslim countries too.
But it, like over here, that's like 90% versus 10%.
Yeah, but I feel like they're moving towards that too. So I just feel like depending on where you go, I think there's always going to be an element of struggle. Is it easier to be a steadfast Muslim in a Muslim country? Yes, because as Amir mentioned, you have adhan playing out loud 5 times a day, which will always remind you of your prayer. Like, you would have to deliberately go out of your way to not pray.
Exactly.
And even if you're at work or at the mall or wherever, there are designated prayer places and wudu stations that make it easy for you to do it.
And most likely your coworkers will be Muslim as well and will be joining you.
Right. And the environment there is built around being Muslim, whereas the environment here, it's actually working completely against us. And so we have to go out of our way to make sure that we're steadfast, that we're constantly reminding ourselves. And we're used to that struggle now, that like sometimes when, you know, family from like Muslim countries or just Muslim dominant areas come and visit, or when they think about how we live here, they're shocked. Like they can't even imagine how we live life. And I'm like, you know, what a luxury to be able to pray in a mosque 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Like a genuine luxury. Like I can't even imagine doing that.
Yeah.
And so I think that, is it worth it? I think for the reward alone. However, do I really want to struggle? Like, why can't I just take the easy way out? It's not like you're not going to be rewarded for living in a Muslim country. Like, there are probably other opportunities for, you know, khair and rewards and stuff. Thawab. I'm sure there are other ways we just don't know because we don't live there. But my final answer?
Yeah. So if you had the opportunity, you would move?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess, yeah, you know what? I can see it that way. Maybe it's because I just, you know, have the bias of the fact that I already live here.
That's a strong...
And like, I feel like it is important to build community.
No, I agree. It is
like
important.
if you already started.
I know. Why would you go and abandon it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But like, not to get all dark on y'all, but like, it's basically akhir zaman anyways. Like, you might as well just save yourself.
I guess so. Yeah, because, and that, I don't know if I already said that question, but like, is it worth building a Muslim community in these countries?
Any good thing that you do, always do it for the sake of Allah. And, and you know, inshallah, he'll be rewarded greatly for it. But I think working for the community is a very, like, it's not easy. It's actually very physically, mentally, emotionally taxing on a person. And if you don't have the support and the help of other people in the community, it takes a toll on you.
It does.
So, you know, but if you still continue to like be strong in that, like think of the reward is all I could say. But then there are also people that are like, what's the point? Like, I'm just going to focus on myself. I'm going to, you know, just focus on me. But then it's like this back and forth dialogue that I have in my head. It's like, but then, did the Prophet say, I'm just going to focus on me? No. The Prophet literally dedicated his life to his ummah and wanted to spread the call of Islam. And so when you think about it in that aspect, and you know, we should be taking him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as our role model. Not us getting all religious, like. But you know what I mean? Like, if we're taking him as a true role model, as we say that we should, then you think of the greater good. You think of the community. You think of not only yourself, like by helping others, you're helping yourself, right? Because by building the community, you're reminding others, which, like, first and foremost, you remind yourself to try to be the best Muslim that you can be. Of course, we're not perfect. We're going to slip up. But as long as we continue to remember and return to Allah, then, you know, we can just hope and pray for the best.
Yeah.
So I think now I've changed my answer. For now, I'm going to stay here and just firmly plant my roots here. And then maybe, you know, a couple years from now.
Well, the thing is, our debate then moved on to like, he's like, yeah, but then once I have kids, what environment would I want them to grow up in, right?
that changes everything.
Yeah.
I'm thinking as a single Sada right now.
Exactly. So once you have kids, you're like, do you really want them growing up in this
Corrupt environment.
Yeah. But my counter to that at the time was like, yeah, but it's like it's your responsibility as a parent to, foster that environment and build that community so that when you do have kids, you have a good environment to bring them up in.
Yes, but then you have to be mindful about like where they go to school, because kids learn
build a Muslim school.
It's not that easy, Amir.
Yeah.
But I get you. It's you have to have the will and the power for it, you know? Some people just like they dream big and then it stops there. They don't act on it. And some people act on it and then, they achieve something better than their dreams.
Yeah.
It all depends on the person and what's written for them. So
I did have that feeling as well. I don't think I spoke about it with him at the time or the person, but like there is that thing we have to be wary of, and hopefully there is some type of pushback there. But like in a lot of these Muslim countries, or the ones that are not originally Muslim, but like not what I want to say, like that are majority Muslim but still have like a little bit of like secularism, secular tendencies. Like the example we were talking about was like Egypt, which I feel has that, because Egypt still has a pretty large, I believe, Christian, and also I think it's Coptic, or like what's the Egyptian like their religion or thing. The Egyptians, like the people who believe in the pharaoh and all that. I forget what that one's called. Search it up right now. Search it up right now. Let me search it up.
Right,
how do I search on an iPhone?
Literally just type it. Type what you're searching. That it takes you to Google.
Here, let me see. Please tell me I was right. Yeah, see, Coptic. Coptic is like, what is this? Why is it not showing the definition? An ethno-religious group mainly in the area of modern Egypt. Yeah, I knew it. See?
Wow, Amir got something right.
Yeah, but it goes back to like ancient Egypt and what they used to believe. Like those environments, I do have the ability to be influenced by a lot of those like secular ideas. And you are seeing it. Like I think there was a video I saw recently of a restaurant in Egypt, in like this downtown in Cairo, Egypt, where because one of the girls, this was for a girl's like birthday party, one of the girls happened to be hijabi, and they kicked them out because they don't allow hijabis into the restaurant.
In Egypt?
They don't serve hijabis. Yeah.
What?
Exactly.
Why?
Because there are people who are pushing against this. Like Egypt is not 100% Muslim.
Yeah.
And even back in like the 60s or like the early 1900s, they were very secular. Like Islam didn't, or like the practicing of Islam wasn't really like celebrated as much in the early 1900s. I forget, there's a video I saw, and same thing for Turkey. Turkey is very secular.
Yeah.
And now, of course, we were talking about that as well, but Erdogan, I think that's his name, then the new president or prime minister of that, or not new, but he's the president or prime minister of that country, is trying to bring it more into like an Islamic ideal, or have more of an Islamic identity. But before that, they were very against that and trying to distance himself from that Islamic identity. So that has been a thing that's always been going back and forth in a lot of those Muslim countries. Not very much in Saudi Arabia, which, because like that was where the Prophet originally like set his claim.
The holy like Mecca and Medina.
Exactly. That's literally like, I feel like that one we don't have to worry about as much. Well, like you mentioned, there are a couple of things because of the government there, but Egypt and Turkey have a very high tendency to make those more secular changes, which in 20, 30 years might look very, very different than what it looks like today. Like now it seems like it's a very good place for Muslims to grow up in, but I can't say that in another 10 years, 15 years.
But same with Saudi Arabia. I think theirs is just a very slow progression.
Saudi Arabia would be much slower, I feel.
Yeah. Like, I think if they tried to, like right now, I'm pretty sure they removed the mandatory abaya. Like you can go out in pants, I'm pretty sure.
Where?
In Saudi Arabia.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the
think
case. Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if
Mhm.
I'm wrong, but I feel like that they changed that rule
Mhm.
because I know in the past if tourists came, they
Yeah.
had to cover head to toe. But I think now they're a bit more lenient on
Mhm.
that. They are allowing like concerts,
Yeah.
and I'm not here to say like I'm not trying to preach like from a holier than thou perspective. It's just when you have like for a country like Saudi Arabia, you know, that is home to Mecca, to Medina, where the Prophet is buried, where his you know, family and companions are buried, like you would think that it would be held to a higher standard at least. And so it's a little shocking, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And I think maybe because of the other Arab countries, especially in like the United Arab Emirates, they have a lot of wealth and are basically competing with each other, it seems,
Yeah.
for who can, you know, have the most extravagant buildings and just like who can attract the more tourists to their countries. Scary times.
Silent day judgment, guys. But no, it really is. But still,
It really
it's
is a
just,
sign of the day of judgment.
Yeah, I feel like we're still far from that. But what? Well, there are a lot of things that have to happen in between that.
I know,
okay?
but we're basically done. I think there's one more minor sign left or something like that.
Is there?
That's a whole other topic for
Yeah,
a
that is
whole
a
other
whole other
day.
thing. Okay.
Like, I don't know if y'all want us to like deep dive into that.
Yeah,
But
we didn't even mention like Dubai and like
Dubai and Abu
the UAE
Dhabi
in general
yeah.
has also been moving to more of a secular culture, at least for people who are like coming into the country. Like they're still very strict on Muslims, which is weird. They have like a different law for Muslims versus people outside of America, don't they?
What do you mean?
Or actually, sorry, no, this was in Egypt. My bad. Or no, Morocco. Yeah, Morocco is like this.
Why are you saying it like
I don't know
that?
why I said it like that. Morocco.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, my bad. But there was these girls who were visiting from America, and they're Christian. They're not Muslim at all. But one of the girls' names was Aisha, and they were trying to buy drinks at like a restaurant or something, and they would serve everyone except for the girl named Aisha.
How'd they know her name?
Huh?
How'd they know her name?
And I think they heard it or something. I'm not sure.
Oh.
But they wouldn't serve her drinks just because she had a Muslim name, but they were serving everyone else.
Dang.
Which is such a weird thing. And then she's like, I'm not a Muslim though. And they're like, oh, but you have a Muslim name. You're a Muslim. And I don't know. It's just a weird thing that's been going on.
Yeah. I mean,
in those states.
well,
yeah.
if you got a Muslim name.
So maybe, guys, we're thinking of going to those countries and just say, maybe the grass ain't as green as you think it really is. Okay.
I mean, they could always go and enjoy the country as the locals do, which is the best way I think to experience a new country, is enjoy it as a local does. Why would you go to a country just to do the exact same thing that you do back home? It's kinda...
Yeah, I'm just being salty and being a hater. It's all good. You can go do your thing. Do your thing, okay?
So we've been going to a couple weddings.
Yeah.
As one would do during the summer because it's wedding season. And I overheard my uncle and my mom having this conversation. And it just kind of made me laugh. I just sat there silently listening to them. They were like, I feel like there's this epidemic happening in the Harari community where like people they're just not getting married.
I just picture you like your head between the like stairs bars or whatever, just like easing in on the conversation.
Oh, no, I mean like I was sitting with them.
Oh, were you?
I
okay.
just didn't contribute to the conversation. And they were like, like the kids nowadays, like they don't even want to meet each other. They're just like living life as single people. Like, why don't they feel the need to get married as quickly as we did? And I'm just like trying to hear their hypotheses. Like, what do they really think is going on? And they're like, the guys, like they just feel like they don't need to get married because they get all the perks of marriage. I'm like, what do y'all know? Like, where are you getting this information? And so then they look over at me and they're like, do you not feel like pressured to get married? And I was like, I mean, y'all haven't pressured me, so I'm chilling. Why would I pressure myself?
Yeah.
Like, it'll happen when it happens. Then they're like, okay, next year we're throwing you a wedding. I'm like, to who?
Hey, I'm just saying, you might arrange something pretty good. They know you pretty well at this point. It's known for 30 years. No?
No, they don't know. They know. Do your parents know you well enough to pick out your spouse? Exactly.
Yeah, I guess so.
So it depends on the relationship you have with them. And mine don't know me like that. So you guys are all invited to my wedding next year. Who am I marrying? I don't know. You don't know. We'll find out next year.
Yeah, I keep saying that, like, end of year, if I don't have prospect, just throw me out. I'm done.
I have several prospects for you, actually.
We'll see. You know what? No, you know what? Why am I saying that? Yeah, sure. Show me your prospects. I'll take.
Are you actually open this time?
What?
Are you actually open this time?
Yeah. You know what's funny? I was talking to my guys. Yeah. I was talking to the guys the other day at the center, and they literally were like, "Yo, Amir, so like, what's the hold up with you?" I'm like, you know, honestly, I just like my freedom.
Listen, you can still have freedom when you're married. Who told you that you're
no. I don't know. It's
you like not having to think about somebody else.
No, it's then not that. It's like I have a routine. I like my routine, and I don't want that routine to change much.
Yeah, so you like not having.
That's why I've always been talking about, like, if I ever do find someone, like, they have to really like just like ease into that routine. Like,
that's so unrealistic.
Like, so smoothly.
You can't do that.
Like, they have to go to the same gym that I go to. They have to eat the same food I eat.
Listen. Regardless of who it is, even if she is also a gym rat, like, your routine is gonna change.
Yeah,
it could be for the better though. You probably will still work out at the same gym, and she probably will join you, but you're not eating the same thing every day.
I don't know, man. It seems pretty convenient.
Yeah,
saves a lot of money.
Listen,
I would hope that they would see reason, and
I don't know.
You know, just to be like, okay, you know what? You have a pretty good idea. It's worked for you for the past 4 years. It's gonna work for me.
She might say okay for like the first week and be like, nah.
Unless she wants to meal prep all my meals. Just saying. I keep looking at the camera and be like,
the girls are like taking notes, like meal prep every meal. Go to LA. Oh,
what?
I was gonna say the name of your
LA
gym.
Fitness.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter.
I think I've mentioned LA Fitness before. Yeah.
Do whatever Amir does. I don't know. I think you just have to approach it with an open mind.
I'm super open, so I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
Are you? Are you though? You can't look for someone who's just gonna like this is Amir's life, and the trajectory of his life is going this way.
She's like pointing her hand in one direction.
Yeah, I'm pointing in one direction, and then here's the woman that he picks, and she just goes bloop right into his life.
Right in that line.
Yeah, and she's just continuing the journey with him. It doesn't work like that.
Why
it's actually
can't
gonna go
it
like
work
this.
Like that? Why?
Up,
can't
down,
it?
sideways.
You know, I'm willing to, go through whatever you just did right now, the ups and downs of it.
Roller coaster of life.
As long as it doesn't just ruin my routine too much.
Amir.
I'm just saying, okay?
But it doesn't, like, I'm trying to prepare you for the realistic.
I've only kept this hair because of my routine, okay? I've only kept this body because of this routine, okay?
And you probably still can. It's just going to look a little different.
It's going to cost me a lot. That's what I know it's going to do, okay?
It's okay. Listen, I just know that in the last 3 weeks, the number one comment I heard, and you can already guess what it is.
Just go ahead. What is it?
Every single aunt or uncle or older cousin that I have encountered in the last 3 weeks said the exact same thing. Inshallah, next year, we're going to have a big wedding for you. I was like, make dua for me. If I got the whole community behind me, then somebody's dua better come true.
We still look young, so it's okay,
Oh, yeah, I still look like I'm 23 at most.
20, okay, I want to say 20.
I've been told.
I'll say like 25, 26.
All right, I'll still take
28.
Nobody ever goes up to you and says, you look 28.
Yeah, 28 is such a random one. They'd always go with like a round number, 25.
No, 25, 21,
yeah,
23,
something like that. Something between 25 and 20. Yeah, I don't think I've ever got, if it's anything above that, to be like, oh, you're like 29, 30, aren't you? But I don't get that, because, look at this. I'm just saying.
Because black don't crack, mashallah. Today that we're filming this is May 22nd. Amir is giving himself till the end of this year. I'm giving myself till next year. If we don't have a surprise episode where we say Amir or Sarah or both are getting married, not to each other, because some of y'all are a little confused sometimes. Yeah. Okay, we've had that question a couple times. So to clear it up, one last time, we are first cousins. Okay. We are also siblings through breastfeeding, aka he is my mahram, which means we can touch and it's not considered.
I don't know why I touch it like that.
So when we say we're getting married, we don't mean to each other. Just to clear that up one more time for the folks at home. But if we don't come out with an episode, I want y'all announcing our engagements and or marriages. I want y'all to hold us accountable.
Please do. End of year for me. Next year for you.
Actually,
What?
One last thought. I literally saw a TikTok today. Netflix is allegedly producing.
Oh, the Muslim
matchmaking show.
Yeah.
Can I sign you up?
No.
Why?
Nah.
That'd be so cool.
I'm
Amir.
way too private for that.
Come on.
I made like a post for the first time.
I know.
Year, okay.
And it had photos from like last year.
Exactly. No, because I just had all these photos. Like, let me just throw them all in together.
It's a photo dump. That's fine.
Exactly. That's the thing kids are doing these days, right?
Yeah, it's the cool thing to do.
Yeah, and since we recorded, and I mean, we recorded maybe 1 hour 16 minutes here. If the episode comes out about an hour, you'll know why.
Why?
Like cut out like so much of this.
It's fine.
No, I because like sometimes this thing, I guess, not self-conscious. Sometimes I'll make jokes like me saying, oh, if you want something like this, muscles, all that stuff.
That's fine. That's a joke, and they know that.
Do they though?
They do. And if it's someone
in my mind, I have way too much anxiety about that.
But you don't even read the comments. I do, and I clap back if needed, so it's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry.
But I'm joking, guys, okay?
It's all a joke, guys. Please don't take our jokes too seriously. If there is something that we said that offends you, let us know. DM us. Have a conversation. I think calling names and bullying people online from your anonymous account is pretty immature. And quite frankly, I'm going to just delete your comment so no one will see it. And on that note,
we'll see y'all next. Whoa, do we have to say? Oh, no. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all our stuff. And we'll see y'all in Sweden.
Bye.